Hey guys, my name is Julie Blue, like the wind, not the color. I am here on the All Angles podcast as a guest host for MS Awareness Month, and thank you so much, guys, for letting me do this. Um, we have a special guest coming on who I don't know a whole lot about, but we're going to learn a lot about him um, today on this podcast. So, anyways, when we're ready, we'll bring him on. Hey there, Bradley. Welcome to the All Angles podcast. I've been so honored and excited to be asked to be a guest host here during MS Awareness Month. And strangely enough, you and I connected a couple days ago out of
Yes.
like really kind of nowhere. So, we're just kind of discussing all things MS right now. And,
hmm
um, you know, I know a lot of people and you're in like a different, um, realm, I guess, as far as the MS community goes. So it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm really excited to talk to you and obviously hear your story. And I guess we can just start where it started for you, and you can tell our
Sure.
listeners kind of when it began for you.
Yes, this is very, is it strange? I don't know what the right word is. How we met just a few days ago from me working out in Phoenix to someone telling me about someone that they want me to meet because they have some type of similarity and the way that you take action and take control of your life living with MS, which I didn't know you had MS. He never told me. So that led us to talking to each other on Instagram or Facebook. And now here we are on All Angles podcast. So my life changed back in 2006 is when I was diagnosed. So I was celebrating my wife's 40th birthday, which I won't tell her that because she doesn't like to be 60 now. It's been 20 years since this all happened. We were out in Hawaii with a bunch of couples and played around the golf. Wasn't drinking, wasn't smoking cigars or anything like that. I came back and we went back to the room, and there was a note at the room telling us to meet them at the spa. Well, I'm not a really spa type person, but I was doing this for my wife. So we went to the spa, and as we went to the spa, I had made a gesture to my friend that I was with because some guy had passed through. Well, karma's a what?
A
Karma's
bitch.
a bitch, yes. So that little moment, I wish I could take back, but then I don't wish I can take back because MS has really changed my view in life with people. That little
Wow.
gesture, I walked maybe 10 steps, Julie, and I lost my balance and I fell and I broke my right toe. And my friend that I was with is a orthodontist, but two couples that just came out happened to be a doctor and his wife. They helped me up and they saw my toe. They said, it's broken. There's nothing that you can do. Now I got to go into the spa and see my wife. So I hobble in there and she's like, what happened at a golf course? What did you guys do? And I'm like, nothing. Were you drinking? No, I wasn't drinking at all. So I did the worst thing that I could possibly do, not knowing I have MS. I did the hot tub. I did the sauna. I did the steam room. I did the ice plunge. Everything shocking the heck out of my body that day. So I went along with everything, to please my wife. And probably maybe the next day, within 24 hours, I started getting sensations in my left and my right arm. And I didn't know what it was. And my wife was, worried, like, maybe you need to go get yourself looked at. Maybe your back is out of line or something. So my neighborhood, right behind me. I'm just very blessed that when I built my house in 1993, I have a pediatric dentist across the street. I have a thoracic surgeon next house. I have a pulmonary doctor next to him. And then I have a
Wow.
radiologist
You're
up the street.
surrounded.
I'm surrounded. So I actually called back to Tampa and explained to one of the doctors of what my symptoms were. You probably have a herniated disc. If you look up herniated disc, pins and needles in your fingers. So now it is going through my legs. The fourth or fifth day I'm there. Now I'm getting really worried, like, what is going on with my body? It just doesn't feel right. So naturally, what I did was to try to get rid of that sensation is we drank and we had fun and tried to enjoy it. And I cut all my tennis shoes, my dress shoes, a hole in the right toe. And as I speak to you right now, that my toe is just throbbing right now because of when I exert myself, when excitement and energy, it just goes to that right toe. It's never gone away. So as I speak to you, 20 plus years later, both of my arms are pins and needles asleep. Both my legs and half my face is still has that numbness. It's never gone away.
Wow.
So we enjoyed the rest of the trip. I came back to Tampa and I was coaching my sons Pop Warner football, both of my sons. And when I was out there, I started doing wind sprints. I hadn't fallen, just that one time out in Hawaii. I fell. And my sons are looking at me like, Dad, what's going on? And so one of the coaches is a chiropractor, and he goes, hey, come in and see me. I know your toe's bothering you. So I go and see him. And as I go and see Dr. Augustine, I walk in his office and I lose my balance. He's like, hey, it was 12 o'clock. And he goes, hey, were you out like, did you have a few drinks or something like that? And I'm like, people are judging me like I'm an alcoholic or something. And I said, no, I haven't been anywhere. I just came in your office. He goes, well, I'm going to take an x-ray of you. I don't have an MRI machine in here. And we're going to order an open MRI. And his brother is a chiropractor as well. So I got an open MRI, and all he was doing, Julie, is a level 4. It's a infrared on my toe to keep the swelling down. That's all he was doing. He didn't align my body or anything like that. So I went in there for a week. I fell one more time at my house. So now I know something's not right. My neighbor across the street, Dr. Greg Stepansky's brother had MS. May he rest in peace. He knew by the symptoms that I had, and one of my eyes was kind of like floaty in a way, and he knew I had MS. He knew that, and to this day, he always reminds me of that day. So open MRI doesn't show anything. So it's a Friday. My doctor across the street, Dr. Mac Anderson, pulmonary doctor, orders me an MRI out at University of South Florida, UDI. I got my films, which were like this big back in 2026. I had all those films, but I didn't have the findings. And I was like, I'm not going to go the weekend without knowing what's going on. And I'm thinking of cancer. That's all that's going through my mind. So Dr. Stepansky calls my friend up the street, who's a radiologist, to come and pick up my films. He's like, oh, HIPAA. And I'm like, let's not worry about it. I'll take care of him. And so he picked up my films, went to his place, and about 30 minutes later, he came back, and that mitered window behind me, he set up 6 films of my brain and my spine. And I'm looking at him, and when he comes through the door, and I'm trying to read him, like, what's going on? And he's like, he's kind of pale, and I'm like, oh shit. So he puts them all up here, and he goes, Brad, I don't know how to tell you this. I said, Rob, just tell me what it is. He goes, you have MS.
Mm.
And I look at him, I said, MS?
The fuck is that?
What? Exactly. And I'm like, I don't have cancer. No. So you don't know me, but as you start to know me, is I kind of hear things, but I kind of filter things out. All I heard him say is, so there's a lake across the street. We go fishing. There's gators in there. We go fishing. And so I go with my kids, well, when they were younger, would go in there. And so when he is trying to explain to me that there are leeches on my brain and my spine, I look at him like, I haven't been over at the lake. My wife goes into the bedroom and looks on the bed for leeches. And I'm like looking at my body,
Oh
and
my
he's
God.
like, what the hell? What are you doing, Brad? And I go, there's leeches on me. And he goes, no, there's lesions on your brain and your spine. So 20 years later, he'll come by with a few beers saying, hey, how are the leeches doing on your brain and your spine? So, so that led me to going into a neurologist that I got into, that Peter Dunn, who's at University of South Florida. And what is important to you with a neurologist? What's the most
You're
important
asking,
thing when you see a neurologist, what would be most important?
I mean, that they listen to what I have to say. That's the most important thing. That
Bedside
they hear
manners.
me. Yeah,
Yes.
that they hear me, that they don't just brush me off and, yeah, that's the most important thing.
So here I am, knowing I have MS because he's the radiologist told me. I go in and see Peter Dunn at University of South Florida, and he goes, "Hello, Mr. Romp. Hello, Mrs. Romp. How are you doing today?" Said, "Well, I'm here because of these films back here. I'm hoping that you're going to help me." And he judges a book by its cover right away, and he goes, "I don't understand why you're in here. You're very competitive. I understand because this is 20 years ago. He knows that Mac Anderson got me in there because it's a 7-month delay. So he's judging a book by its cover, and he's going, these aren't your films back here. I said, it says Brad Romp on my films. Those are my films. Calls his nurse practitioner, and are these Mr. Romp's films?
Wow.
And she's like, yes. And he's like, it can't be. You don't look like you have MS. And I'm like, what the hell? And my wife's kicking me underneath his desk, like, I want to get out of here. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to put you on a steroid for 7 days. We're going to do one today. It's going to last about an hour. Then we're going to send someone to your house. That lasted 3 days. The lady came here, and I went schizo. I didn't like the way it felt. My legs were feeling like they were in quicksand. And I asked Laura, I said, Laura, you need to take this PICC line off of me. And she goes, you can't. It's Dr. Zor's. I pulled it out, put my hand over it. I said, do you want to stop this? Or am I going to wait till my wife comes home? So she puts a Band-Aid on it. She leaves. Done with Dr. Dunn. So my radiologist up the street, Rob Van Fleet, went to school at FSU with Ben Thrower. Ben Thrower is a very well-known neurologist in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
At
Okay.
I think it's called, I forget what it's called up in Atlanta. So I'm all ready to get a flight to go up there to go see him, to get an opinion on, because this doctor really didn't do anything. He goes, before you come here, Brad, he goes, I have a friend of mine in Tampa. His name is Mark Cassione. Let me try to get you in there. Julie, this guy is my everything doctor. He took
Good for you.
2 hours to go over everything about MS, about the latest and greatest medications that are out there, and how to handle this. So at that time, he said, let me put you on a interferon. So I started on beta-serin.
I'm going to stop you for a second. For
Yeah.
people that aren't aware, an interferon is an injectable medication. I'm just telling the people that are watching the podcast. Not everyone understands that
Yes.
term. So, yeah. Okay.
So
Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So Betaserin, it's made by Bayer Pharmaceutical, and I think they're part of Novartis. I had a nurse come to my house, showed me how to administrate either my own uh, uh, injection, or there was a little auto injector that you can use. Now there's 5 or 6 medications out. If you remember back then, how long you've never been on the medication then,
No, and
right?
I've been diagnosed for 9.5 years.
Okay,
But I'm
so
very familiar with that. I'm very familiar with when back then the medications were not as available as they are today. And the charity that I work with, we uh, we have helped bring some of these medications to light. So,
right. So back in 2006, Grandpa Romp here, the old man with the MS for 20 years, I want to back up for a minute with Dr. Dunn. Another thing that he did that
okay,
really
can I
still,
stop you for a second? Because I
yeah,
do have a question.
yeah.
So, how long was it between the onset of your symptoms, your toe, and you
hmm
falling to you going to the chiropractor and him saying you have MS or doing, or not the chiropractor, but the chiropractor took the scans and
Yes,
gave them to, how long was that time?
maybe a week and a half from
Okay,
the
so
time.
you were diagnosed fairly quickly. And
Yes,
what's bizarre is I also went to a chiropractor and he didn't adjust me either. So our stories are very similar, but
that's
I'm just sitting
amazing.
here laughing and smiling because even the drugs and the everything, but continue with your experience with
Yeah.
the medication because that's where you were.
So when I was at Dr. Dunn's office, he had given me 5 or 6 different videos, films to like DVDs to go home and for me to pick out my medication.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting. Looking at those videos and thinking of what I saw, it was people that were elderly people that were chronic with MS, wheelchairs, walkers, canes. Those all the videos look like that. And I said, what is going on? My wife and I were crying our eyes out. And as I work for a pharmaceutical company now as an advocate and a speaker, I said, thank God that they changed the image of what MS is because that's what it was. It was people looking like this.
Yeah.
Who has the right to choose if someone looks like MS in a wheelchair, a cane, a walker, you, me? People judge people too much in this industry of having MS, and it just blows my mind. It hurts me, that people do that. So he threw those videos at me, and that's why what turned my mind against him and my decision, go with Dr. Cassione. So Dr. Cassione, backing up, he put me on a Betaserin, and I had moments where I had lost for 8 or 9 months. I had no mobility of my left arm, completely dead. I was in the healthcare industry at the time in 2006, and I had to get a headset because I couldn't pick up a glass. I would drop it. I couldn't hold a phone. I would drop it. And I was coaching baseball then. I'll never forget this. There was a coaches meeting. I just got diagnosed with MS, and the coaches meeting had the chiropractor that was taking care of my toe. There was a professional athlete. His name was Jody Reed, who played for the San Diego Padres and the Boston Red Sox. He was our guest at one of these coaches meetings with 100 coaches. Out of 100 coaches, he picks one individual to go up to demonstrate how to throw a ball and how to catch for kids. Who's he pick? Me. Just diagnosed. No strength in this left arm. This is where I hold a mitt. This is how I throw. So he goes, we're going to do something different. I want to show people how you can throw with your opposite hand. And Dr. Augustine's like, do not go up there. Brad, don't. And I said, I got to go up there. And I went up there and I made a fool out of myself, but I'm so damn competitive that I wasn't going to let this bring me down. So he throws me and I go up with my mitt like this and I pull it up like this and the ball falls out. Everyone laughs like Brad's joking around. I did it 2 times. And then he goes, okay, you guys get it, so on and so forth. So the meeting ends and stuff. Jody goes outside, and I knew him from the country club. I ran up to him and I said, Jody, I got to apologize. I said, I just was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I don't have any ability. He goes, why in God's name did you go up there? I said, because I'm not going to let this thing define me. Right. He goes, but you made a joke out of it. I said, well, I'll get mobility out of it within some time. So he appreciated, but he's like, there's no way in hell that I would have gone up there and do that. So
but you don't know what you would do unless you're in that situation. So there's a lot of people that'll tell you what they would do in your situation, given your set of circumstances, given your diagnosis, but they're not you. They don't have your personality. You're clearly very active. You're clearly very, a bad word, boisterous. I guess that's not a bad word, but boisterous. Yeah. And you're not afraid. You came out right away, as did I. I think it's important when you have something like we have, and that you're involved in so many things, like your son's baseball and all these things, that people know why the ball fell out of your hand weirdly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing to be ashamed of, having MS at all.
You're exactly right. And more people, Julie, that found out that I was diagnosed with MS, some of the other coaches, all were very supportive. And I said, please don't treat me any differently. I'm still going to be out there. However, I removed myself from coaching baseball because it didn't make sense with me not, being able to hold a mitt in my hand or run down to first base. My legs were like they were in quicksand. And I just said, it's not fair to my kids, and let me work on my mobility. So I would stand in front of a mirror for hours with a 1 pound weight in our vanity in our bedroom, and I put a 1 pound weight in my left arm and use my right arm, and just for hours, just moving it, just trying to get to wake it up, to do something. I asked Dr. Cassione, he goes, Brad, do whatever you want. And he goes, whatever vitamins that you are on, I want you to bring those in when you are doing your first medication. So we brought in like 25 different vitamins that my wife had me on. And he goes, okay, this is going to be fun. Okay, no. Fish oil, yes. Vitamin D, yes. All these other things, multivitamin, yes. Everything else, get rid of. So I went on my injection, and I had, fast forward, 3,355 injections in 19 years.
Wow.
3,355 injections in my body. So I had good days, bad days.
Are you,
No.
you're not, you went off it recently, right? Isn't that correct?
So, yes. So I'm trying to think the year that I changed over to Briumvi. So why did I change over to Briumvi? Most men and women that are on some type of medication for MS, with all the different medications, you build up, your immune system kind of builds up with that medication that's inside me.
Right.
So what's my worst enemy in the medication that I was on? Fatigue and depression. Depression and then fatigue, really. So I was hiding a lot. And what was I hiding? I was hiding the way I was really feeling inside, what was going through my brain, no matter how I was working out, how I played golf, how I'd ride my bike, I still was hiding stuff from my wife and from my kids of with years gone by. And
I think with this illness, I think hiding is just part of it because, again, you look great, I look great, but we don't always feel great. And so instead of having to explain that over and over and over and have people look at you weird, it's easier to hide those bad days, those bad things, I think.
yeah, you're smiling. I can see you right now, okay? But your
Right?
insides are not on most
Exactly.
people with MS. And they don't see that part of living with MS. That's what's so upsetting when I see people of that they're smiling on the outside, but they're not smiling on the inside because they're hurting so badly with their MS, their struggles that they have. And when I'm up there speaking on behalf of TG Therapeutics Briumvi, which is the
Okay.
other infusion medication, so you can let them know. So beta-serin was the interferon I was on for 19 years. Then I got switched over to TG Therapeutics Briumvi. Briumvi is an infusion that is given every 24 weeks. And that's
Okay.
one infusion every 24 weeks. So every almost 6 months, I go in to get infused with this new medication. It's done incredible for me. My
Good.
fatigue is much better. My depression is not where it was before. And I had some very dark, dark, dark days. Dark, dark
I
days.
I will say this. So I've never been medicated. I chose 9.5 years ago not to go on the medications that were recommended to me by some of the top neurologists in the country, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I still, those things that you're saying, the depression, the fatigue, I still have those even without being medicated. I think just MS in general can cause anxiety, it can cause fear,
Oh,
it can
yes.
cause um, you know, I have cognitive symptoms, but my anxiety, my depression, I don't know that it's actually depression because my brain is so foggy sometimes. I can't even like see straight, but I think those are also just part of MS. I do know that the drugs, because I work with a charity in LA and we deal with a lot of the pharmaceutical companies. I sit with them a couple times a year, and there are a lot of side effects for these meds, but a lot of them work for people like Ocrevus. I know so many people that are taking Ocrevus that are doing
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
So,
So
and
Ocrevus is the other medication that I could have gone on. And so anybody that goes on a new medication who's newly diagnosed, they obviously find what the side effects are and what the risks are. And that's what I wanted to know from both of them. Briumvi was the newest and latest that was out there. It also, which I don't have their pamphlet in front of me, I pick up on signs. I see signs and things. I see
Ocrevus
things.
wasn't actually, Ocrevus did not come out until 2017, 2018.
Yeah, so Briumvi just came
Yeah.
out maybe
Oh,
6 years ago.
okay, so you're talking about not your original medication. You're talking about when you switched.
Yes, when I switched
Okay.
from
Okay.
the interferon, I mean the interferon to
To the beta, whatever, the beta, who cares? The other drug.
through beta-serin to Briumvi.
Okay.
So Briumvi, Bruiv, starts with BR. My name is Brad Romp. That was
Oh,
my sign.
that is a sign.
So the difference between Briumvi and Ocrevus is there is a language or a phrase called crap gap. Crap
Hmm.
gap is when people are almost binging before their medication is supposed to be infused again, like a month before.
Explain
There
what
are
crap gap is, because the
so
normal
it
population and people that aren't medicated do not know what that means.
so on the infusion medication with Ocrevus, okay, now there has not been any, knock on wood, any with Briumvi yet. Crap gap is it's like, how do I explain this? They need their medication. They are very fatigued. They're very maybe depressed. They're needing their medication.
Yes.
And so it might be a month and a half before their next infusion. With Briumvi, my next infusion, I mean, I just had it three weeks ago, won't be until sometime in July is my ninth infusion. I don't have that feeling, that sensation of I need this. I got to get it in me. With Ocrevus, that's one of the downsides. Now,
Okay.
that's not in everyone. Okay, that's just
Right.
there's a percent of people that have that. And so when I heard about that, I'm like, I don't even want to think about having that. So even though I'm talking to you and on this podcast, that doesn't mean that this is not going to be for someone else, that something might not happen, you know. I've been
100%.
Yeah, and I've been very fortunate to make myself clear that I've had zero side effects when I've taken my infusion
So
from
I'm curious about something, because I have friends that are on Ocrevus and they do deal with crap gap. They 100% do. They start feeling like crap a
uh-huh,
few weeks before their infusion. But what you said about Briumvi, how do you pronounce that? Briumvi?
Briumvi, Briumvi.
Briumvi. So that's actually given, there's a shorter span of time, because Ocrevus is given every 6 months. You're saying you're given it every
24 weeks.
24 weeks. So that could explain why the medication you're on doesn't have that extended crap gap, because you're actually getting it a little bit earlier than
That's
every six
exactly right.
months.
Yep. And when I go to these speaking events, I'm flying out to Tucson tomorrow, and I will be speaking at some restaurant out there with a neurologist. And I wanted to ask you before I talk
It's
about that.
hot. Don't come here. It's supposed to be like 106.
Oh, really?
Seriously, I'm
The
getting out of here
neurologist,
Thursday.
the neurologist that you know out in California, in Hollywood, is
I
it
know
a
several.
lady?
I know
Okay.
several. Yeah.
I've spoken with her 2 times.
Who?
Mah Regina? Is it Mah
What?
Mahanovit? She does a lot of the Hollywood stars. Is
I
what she's
know.
known for.
So I work with the Race to Race MS, and we have a team of doctors that are involved in something called the Center Without Walls.
Uh-huh.
There's USC, UCLA, Johns Hopkins, Yale, Ohio State, something or other. What else is there? UCSF. If you gave me a name, I could let you know. Otherwise, I
I
know. I mean,
I'm trying to find it, and I'm having an MS moment of what her
that's
name
okay.
is.
That's what we all have moments.
I
Like I need
thought her name is
reminders.
I thought her name is Regina. She's out in Hollywood. She's out in Hollywood, and I've been with her 2 times speaking events. And
What hospital does she work for?
she has her own office, and she's right in Hollywood. Um,
So she's not
well,
she's not affiliated with a hospital.
I don't think so. And she's taking care of maybe Osmond, one of the Osmonds, or what?
Well, yeah,
She might have.
David Osmond. Yeah, I know him. He has MS. Yes,
And
I don't
so
know who his
recent,
doctor is,
right?
but
Well, I'll find out what it is and get it to you
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
she's the top neurologist in the Hollywood area. From what my doctor knows her very, very, very well,
Okay.
she's from she's got an accent. I forget what her name is. So, anyways, back to what you were
I
asking me
just
about the crap gat and
and
uh,
the time lapse between, and that's, we were kind of finishing that up, how because Briumvi is given a little bit closer together than Ocrevus is, that could explain why there's more of a crap gap with Ocrevus. And not everyone has that. Not everyone experiences that. Different medications affect different people in different ways. Period. The end. And affects us all in
that
different ways.
that's exactly right. Me and you would be different than two other people. If we had 10 people on this call, each one of us are going to have something differently. I've just been very, very, very fortunate that I've had no type of symptoms when I'm taking my infusion, while taking infusion, and after. And I don't binge to, I can't wait till I get it. When I get it, it energizes me. At my
Okay.
age, at 64, it gives me it's just changed my lifestyle. It's just done wonders for me being on this medication than what how stagnant I was and how down I was with the old medication that I was on.
Okay.
And that medication was something that you actually were in a lottery. There was a lottery to get on that medication back then.
Wow.
I mean, because there wasn't enough that was being made. It's their purification is out in Emeryville, which is outside of San Francisco. So I
Okay.
got to visit. I was the only MS patient in the country to go inside their facility to see the purification where the medication was made, had a space suit on with all these people. You couldn't burp, fart, do anything while you're in there. It was it was crazy. And then we
Uh,
went into a breakout room, and everyone got to take off everything, and we had these men and women that were crying because they actually got to see a human that was taking their medication. Talk about humbleness, gratefulness, and thankfulness for these people, what they do on making this medication that was doing very well for me, but then it plateaued
right. And
and
that
then it
makes
caused
sense.
problems. Yeah,
I mean, with lots of things that you take, like I always say, I can never get addicted to pills because if I take more than 2 days in a row, it doesn't help. But I
right.
want to go back to the beginning. So your diagnosis came very quickly.
Yes.
That is clearly because, and I'm going to ask, you were into fitness before your diagnosis, correct?
Yes. I used to work out at gyms. I actually worked in a health club in the
Okay.
late 80s. And then I got into corporate America, worked for Cell 81 McCall, if you remember and then they changed to AT&T.
Yeah.
Um, and then I got into to the healthcare industry. So while I was in the healthcare industry, being diagnosed in 2006, I was helping individuals that had Parkinson's, they were bipolar, they had lupus, they had MS. So I had caregivers that would go in. So for some reason, I was diagnosed with MS to help people. And to this day, even though I'm out of my business that I was doing, it's always trying to help and try to better someone else. I try to put them in front of me with what I
So
do.
we were talking last week. So I
Hmm.
moderate one of the largest MS groups online. We have over 135,000 members, and we talked about how people like you and me
Hmm.
sometimes get looked at in a bad, negative way by the MS community because we're so out there with what we do. We're so, and I, and you can understand this and we can have a conversation about this. again, you're doing okay, right? You don't need to go speak to all these people and do all these things. You're fine. I mean, you're not fine, but you're fine. I'm fine. What we are doing, you and I, in our separate worlds and now together, is
Mhm.
we're trying to help all these other people that, don't always look at us like we're the helpers. And whether it's envy or anger, which comes with MS. There's a lot of rage with MS, there's a lot of depression, there's a lot of anxiety, and there's a lot of living a life that is very misunderstood. I would never
Yes,
in a million years think you have MS. You would never in a million years think I have MS. Not at all. and
you're
and
exactly right.
most of the world, I shouldn't say most of the world, but a lot of the people that I encounter, they just look at the outside. They have no idea what goes on up here, in here, or here, anywhere else with your arms, with your toe. Mine's my left arm and my right leg. I mean, and again, you look at someone and you think they're fine. You have no idea what's going on. So it's sad because we are trying to help people. We are trying to help people like us, but you doing your talking, you raising all your money too. You said what, $500,000? Is that correct?
Yes. Hmm.
I mean, he's not doing that for him because he could walk, Brad, you could walk away in the sunset with your family and be, 100% good to go. Same with me.
Hmm.
I can walk away into the sunset and never have to think about this again because what I am doing for myself and with my medical team is working. And all we're trying to do is help others share our stories and say, hey, look, no, I know you can't get out of bed today, but maybe tomorrow you can. And maybe tomorrow you can take a little walk. And maybe you can hop on your bike for half a block. And then maybe the next day
Hmm.
you can do it for 2 blocks. So it's just,
Yep.
yeah,
It's one word that you left out of there is jealous. What
I
does someone have jealous having the same disease than me? It's this is what the main thing is that I see. I'm talking to thousands and thousands of people every year with TG therapeutic Briambi, sitting in a room of 15 to 50 people, and generally speaking, those people that come to those events are just satisfied at 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60 years old with their MS, and they're not doing anything about it. And so when they hear me speak, when I speak from the heart to say, listen, me standing up here in front of you right now, and I see someone with a cane or wheelchair, I wish I could take part of what I inside me and give that to you so you could stand here in front to understand what I see and what I feel with you being there. Because
right.
my fear is being in a wheelchair. And
I mean,
so,
that's the fear, right? That you're not going to be able
yep,
to use your legs one day. Like people don't
yep,
understand or see. I mean, that's a
optic
big one
neuritis, yep,
too. There's
yep,
other things, but those are the big ones. Like not being able to walk and not being able to see. Like
yep. Can happen
so
tomorrow, waking
it
up. So
can.
that's why I live each day, try to live to the fullest. My problem that I have is I don't get enough sleep. I don't turn this off. I'm worrying about what's happening tomorrow. I'm worrying about what time my flight is, where I'm going, who I'm seeing, how can I how can I change the way I said something on my last trip that I had compared to these people. These are brand new people that I don't see. Sometimes I'll see people for the third and fourth time when I go to Dallas or Houston because I'm seeing the same neurologist in those areas. So this neurologist that I'm going to be seeing out in Tucson, I haven't seen before. I don't believe. So I wonder if you know Dr. Nita Lauren.
Mm-mm. I
No,
have not had
Eh,
luck with neurologists in the Phoenix
Tucson.
area. I'm not in
Okay.
Tucson, I'm in Phoenix, but
Oh, okay. That's right.
yeah, yeah. I went to school in
So,
Tucson.
but oh, really? So,
Yeah,
but
I went to U of
it's
A.
always fascinating that neurologists go and they talk about MS. They talk about everything about MS, and then they introduce Briumvi, and then what Briumvi is the newest infusion medication that's out there. It's been out there for 5 to 6 years. They don't really compare, but they do with Ocrevus. Um, and then I go up there and I speak for 18, 22 minutes, and then people might ask questions afterwards, or I talk about my involvement with the National MS Society. It's MS Awareness Month, so obviously I talk about that. There's local chapters, or if there's not a local chapter, there's other foundations that have started a program for MS walks or for galas or for what your industry was is yoga. Everyone's trying to raise awareness and doing something. Mine happens to be bike. This is my
Yeah.
my logo for Bike MS Romp to Cure. So my ride is the 28th of it's next Saturday. So I'll
Okay.
ride 100 miles, and
It's
I'm raised.
amazing.
I think I've raised maybe $21,000 so far. I'm usually up by the $30,000 range, and that's every year for the National MS Society Bike MS tour. So it's incredible. It is
Well,
doing
thank
the
you.
walks. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, it's Julie. It's so the camaraderie at going to these events, the team that surrounds me. That I have 40 riders that are surrounding me to help me ride 100 miles. It's not an ego thing. It's because I'm doing it because my body's allowing me to. Does it hurt?
Because you
Am I?
can. Because
Yes.
you
So,
can. Why wouldn't you do something like, yeah, you do it because you can.
but then again, what we were talking about before, people look like, well, no, I've worked at it. Health and fitness are my lifeline. You have to do something. What you do is your lifeline of what you've been doing for all these years. You keep active. You have to be active with or without MS. What is MS Society? It's movement. Your body has to move. Your body and your mind. You have to physically try to do something for your body, some type of range of motion, doing something with your body, and then doing something with your mind. Reading a book, reading a Bible, doing puzzles, playing games, stimulating your brain to do something because at some point it's going to plateau off. Easier said than done because I'm not this miracle guy or miracle child or miracle man. I'm just a man that's trying to support and be an advocate in the most possible way that I can with individuals. And people are either going to gravitate toward it
Yeah.
with MS or they're going to stay back. And those that stay back, maybe they're going through something that we don't know. Maybe they have some other type of illness besides MS,
Yeah.
because that happens a lot with people as well. But I always tell people that are in wheelchairs how long they've been in a wheelchair or can they walk. What type of exercise are you doing? And most of them say they're not doing anything. They can be sitting down doing band exercises, put their feet in a pool, and range of motion with
Upper
their arms
body.
or leg, upper body.
I used
I
to do
mean,
private yoga for a
mm-hmm,
guy. He was in a wheelchair and
mm-hmm,
we made it work, and I want to go back to a couple of things you said about
yeah,
stimulating your brain. I had someone in my house yesterday. We've talked about this in the past podcasts. I'm living with insane brain fog because of what I had discussed with you,
yes,
the trauma, and these
mm-hmm,
guys know, and everyone knows I'm not quiet about anything I go through. But I had someone here yesterday helping me unpack a closet that I have not been able to unpack for 2.5 years.
mm-hmm,
And she kept saying, your house is so colorful, your rugs. I go, my rugs are colorful. I have art and music and pictures because my brain needs to keep being
mm-hmm,
stimulated, right? Not
yes,
only your body. So physically, yes, I run, I strength train, I swim, I do
Hmm.
yoga, but mentally there you also have to keep the brain going. And that's why if you I mean, I can't really there's so
I
many
see.
like colors and things in my house that just
That's awesome.
literally and it's because this can't plateau. That's not going to
Yes.
help either. So,
That's so important that you say that, and shadowing off of what I said, it just it drives me nuts when I am speaking and people go and say they haven't done anything, and I said, "Are you happy living with your MS at 35 years old? Don't you want a cure?" I said, "There's no I in team. Okay, this is a team effort. We're holding hands. We all in here that raise your hand that has MS, we're here to try to help one another." And I said, you have to do something. You have to look at yourself in the mirror, and we all do, brush our teeth, comb our hair, put our glasses on, whatever. What do you see in the mirror? Do you like what you see? You have to love yourself first. If you don't love yourself, then you have a problem, because
and
you are number one first. You have to do
yes.
that, and you have to do something for you. You have to own up. I own up to having MS. I have it. It's not going away tomorrow. It
Not
might go
yet.
away and
Soon.
you know, whenever, yeah, soon. But I own up to it. Other people, they don't own up to their their MS and don't do anything about it.
Don't get me started. There's people that don't own up to anything. But
That's
yeah,
true.
there
Yeah.
are, when I first was diagnosed, I came out publicly. I was teaching yoga, hot yoga, and
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I came out, I started raising money right away. I need your 40 people to come help me because it's getting harder and harder every year. But, um, and I just forgot what I was saying. Typical MS
Yo,
moment. Remind me.
yoga. You need help.
Yoga. Oh, you have to keep moving to keep moving. And I think that's what a lot of people with MS don't understand. And I also think a lot of people with MS, they just, they're defeated. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I
Hmm.
post me in a one-handed handstand, just I'm asking you for donations. I'm not asking you to do what I'm doing, but they're just like, how does she do that? Well, number one, it's a photograph. I'm up there for 3 seconds and I'm doing it to inspire, to show you what's possible, just like you do. You ride your bike, you ride 100 miles. That's insane to me. I could never ride 100 miles. I probably can't even ride five, but I can run 5 miles.
Hmm.
And I think and in moderating this group that I've been moderating, it's given me a lot of insight. Like I got hit up privately this morning. Some woman reached out to me and she's like, "Can I put something in your group about da 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 da?" I go,
Hmm.
"First of all, it's not my group. I just moderate."
Hmm.
I go for it. I go, "I'm not doing anything with it right now. I'm taking a little mental health break, but post it. Maybe it will go up there. If
Right.
someone sees it and they think it's going to help all these people, they'll put it up there." But with MS, if you do not move it, you're gonna lose it. That is just how this illness works.
And there's not enough people like yourself or myself. I think you're at a much bigger plateau than I am of what you're doing because of your podcast and for what you have. I have a
This
website.
isn't my
I,
podcast. I'm just guest
well,
hosting.
no, I know,
But I
but
may
things that
take it over from them if they let me.
wait a minute.
Just kidding.
We're both taking it over, okay? They don't know that. Um, the money's being transferred over right now, what we bought it for.
They
Um,
need some money.
I do my website. I post things probably three, four, if five times a week of my workouts that I do at
Wow.
F45s. F45s are all over the country.
Yeah.
When I was out in Scottsdale last week, when I met the gentleman,
Jarrett.
Jarrett Williams, Jarrett was blown away by seeing me work out, first of all, not knowing that I had MS, okay, just my motor doesn't stop. And people don't understand, for those that don't have MS, that we use 3 times the energy than someone that does not have MS. So imagine doing a yoga class, imagine doing a F45 class, or swimming, or riding a bike, or walking. We use 3 times as much energy. And so people don't understand that. And so when I got done working out and I got to talk to the class, everyone was like, "You're not a picture of someone with MS." And I said, "So what is a picture with someone with MS?" And right away they're like, "Well, we know someone that's in a wheelchair or a cane. You would never know it." I said, "Yes, because you're judging me, and I've been very blessed with I work out very hard to get where I'm at. Very hard. I sacrifice my body every day. Does it hurt when I go to bed? Yes. Do I feel like I'm 85 when I wake up in the morning? Yes, I do."
As a
So
yoga
this,
teacher, I would tell you don't do anything that hurts you.
okay,
That's what I would say. Don't do anything
right?
if it hurts. Yeah.
So Jarrett was so intrigued that this is how I got to meet you, because you're friends with his wife,
Hmm.
and he has a business that he wanted me to go to talk to his partner, because there's something going on with his partner, and he wanted me to go in to get IV, do the with the cold plunge that he has at his
Yeah.
location, but I
Yeah.
didn't have time to go and do that. And that's why I'm always an open book, because you never know who you run into, to try to get them to believe in what I'm doing, and what I'm sacrificing is for someone else that's newly diagnosed, that, hey, your life doesn't have to stop just because you've been diagnosed with MS.
Right.
You take one foot in front of the other,
Baby
and
steps.
eventually you can get some baby steps, and you can get there. It at least they're hearing someone positive. When I got first diagnosed and you go online, it was all negative. If
Yeah.
you go on to some of these websites, Julie, it's negativeness.
Yeah.
It's all the bad of MS instead of the positives of MS. And again, everyone is different. Everyone's medication is going to be treated different from everyone. They're not all going to be like me. They're not all going to be without medication like you,
Hmm.
but you work your butt off at what you're doing, at your
Every single
yoga.
second of every
Yep,
single day, because I'm not
mm-hmm,
on medication. And that's what people don't understand. They don't see that. I have to
yep.
work almost extra hard because I don't have that backup.
And people don't see it. That's why that's why that the competition that I told you that I was in with the Men's Health and Fitness magazine is, I'm trying to show that at my age, at 45 years old, that this is bigger than a man's physique, a man's size muscle, that doing fitness and health is my lifeline. So for me, doing that every day, sacrificing, I'm moving, I'm doing things, is leading me to champion for representing people from around the country that don't have that availability. But when they see what I'm capable of doing from January 26th to where I'm at now, wow, there's hope. Or someone sees you, what you've been doing for 27 years. Oh my gosh. Instead of sitting back,
22.
oh, 22 years,
Yeah.
okay. So, I mean, that's what people need to, if I was just diagnosed today, I most definitely would want to hear a positive of what a Brad Romp or a Julie Blue is doing, and other positives. I don't want to hear the negatives. I don't like to surround myself. I surround myself with positive people in my life.
Yeah. You have
And you
to.
have to be that. You have to do that. That's the key of being successful with MS or other illnesses that are out there. And I know there's a lot of illnesses that are out there that are very bad. but this is what we have been given, and this is what I champion. I have to put that in front of something else. And
Yeah.
trust me, I have family that has cancer, and my mom does, and she worries more about me than what she's going through at almost 89 years old.
Wow.
That's crazy. For
Yeah.
20 years. And then I have other people that look at me like, oh, he's just using it as a clutch.
Yeah, I get that a lot. So
Oh
I
my gosh.
I'm very misunderstood. It's a hard situation because you don't want to like you don't want people to feel sorry for you or look
Not
at
at
you a
all.
weird way,
Nope.
but then you can't scream you're sick, but you still want people to understand what you live
Because
with. So
they can't
it's
see what's inside.
it's such a conundrum. It literally is such a conundrum to I'm like I'm sick, but I'm okay, and I just want to help you be okay too. Like, as I've said before, I have for the last 9.5 years, I haven't raised as much money as you, but I've raised well over $110,000 for
That's
this group of
awesome.
doctors.
Thank you very
You
much.
thank you. You're welcome.
Hmm.
I thank you. Um, you know, and I don't need to do this for me. I'm not taking medication. I'm doing okay that from the exterior. My
Yeah.
interior is just a clusterfuck, but that's okay. We're working on that right now. But,
One
you
day at a
know,
time. Yep.
exactly, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time with this, like
Yeah.
people don't understand. Like, I'll make plans and then, well, I only slept 4 hours last night, so I don't have the energy to meet you, right? Like, you just
Three
don't.
hours.
And I base my day off of how much I sleep. You have, people use their spoons or whatever. I don't do that theory, but I know when my body says lay the fuck down, I lay the fuck down. That's it.
Right.
And it says
Hmm.
go, I go. And that is how I have managed to get my right leg working again, my left arm working
Hmm.
again, to run, to hang upside down, to inspire people. Um,
Hmm.
and that's it's just listening to your body and staying active. And I think both of us are just the picture of activity here. So,
Hmm. It's so important that if those that are going to be listening to this, what is so important is three or four things that I take away is always get the right neurologist that you feel comfortable with, that has the bedside manners when you're first being diagnosed. Two, for those that are going to go on a medication because of their symptoms that they have, that they trust the doctor at what that medication is that you're going to be on. Three, you have to do something for yourself. You have to do some type of activity to stimulate your brain and your body. You can't just sit around and let MS take over you. You have to define MS. Don't let MS2 define you, because when MS starts to define you, you're dead. You're dead. You're going to be behind the eight ball all the time because you're trying to play catch up all the time. And then have your support staff. If it's your girlfriend, if it's your boyfriend, if it's your husband, if it's your wife, if it's your kids, if it's your grandparents, if it's your next door neighbor. Support is so important, for individuals. And there are so many different facets that you can do things. Obviously, with the National MS Society is one, or other programs where they don't have the MS Society in those areas. Get involved in those community organizations. Go to a bingo, or a gala if you're able to. And not everyone has the resources.
no,
I'm
they
not
don't.
some multi-millionaire. Okay, if I was, I would be giving it to all those people that need a wheelchair, a walker, a like I have in my shower, two shower rails, because
Hmm.
one of my things is my vertigo was off drastically. I'd fall all the time. So embarrassing falling in the shower at 45, at 55 years old, and my kids are there. I'm butt naked, and they're helping me up. I didn't slip. I fell because when I close my eyes, it's the
Yep.
vertigo. You know what it is. So people don't.
Hmm.
They see, but it's inside. It's inside me. It's inside you. They don't see
Yeah.
that. And during 2019, when COVID was around, I was on my deathbed. That was the closest. There's 3 times that was close to me being in heaven. COVID, 5 days, respirator right next to me, double
Oh, geez.
pneumonia. I have asthma. You have a compromised immune system, brain fog for over a year. Julie, I would go out and drive, and I didn't know where I was. They were monitoring me, the hospital. They'd call me, and I'm like, this is Bradley Romp. And they're, oh, yeah, this is Tampa General Hospital. We're just following up on you and seeing how you're doing. Good. Where are you?
I'm not sure.
I'm in front of
I
a
don't mean
store
to,
right
I'm not
now.
laughing at you, by the
No,
way.
I know.
Yeah.
And my wife thought I was having a heart attack. She would be calling me, and I can't tell her where I'm at, and she's telling me how to get home and everything. That's real life situations
Yeah.
of having, not just with COVID, but it's a combination of the MS with it as well. And then obviously the other was depression, which I don't want to go down that road.
Right.
But it's real. It happens, and it's how you handle it. So
I really like your 5 things that you use when you speak. I think that's an excellent. I mean, I don't know if it's time to end the podcast yet. I'm literally, I'm not sure what their time frame is, but I love that you do that. I think that's a great thing to give people that come listen to you speak. Uh, it's just food for thought, right? You're
yeah,
giving them food for thought. Like, okay, well, wait a second. Here's this guy. He's not perfect. But he looks good. He's strong. He's raising all this money, and he's very physically active. Maybe what he's saying, maybe I should, listen to it. I mean, I've been regurgitating the same shit for 10 years. Like, if my body says go, I go. If my body says stop, I stop. That's
right,
just how that works. Like, you push yourself past your edge, that's when the danger happens. So, and as a yoga instructor, I mean, obviously that's just my whole thing is, if I tell you to do a push up and your shoulder hurts, you're an idiot for doing that. Or if I
right,
put you in pigeon pose and your knee's about to pop, get the fuck out of the pose. Like,
yeah,
but people with this illness, they're scared. I don't have a whole lot of support, which is very interesting. You would think I would, but I don't. And so my support comes from within, which is, another added layer to what I
hmm
have to deal with. So I love that you give people just food for thought on what
yeah,
you can do because a lot of people just don't want to get out of bed. They want to succumb. And it's very easy to succumb. It really is.
exactly. It is. Well, you have one here, so that's what we're
Thank
here
you.
for. Is to,
I
besides those that are going to be listening to this, I hope that they take it in a positive way and not a negative way, that they take it in a way of, we're 2 human beings that we're trying to champion our lives living with MS and trying to give a positive, inspiring, motivating type of a opportunity for you, that you have to do something for yourself. And that's what we have done. I had a choice. Either take the bull by its horn or let the bull knock the shit right
run
out of
right
me.
over you.
Right over me. And
Ah,
I am highly competitive living with MS. So I'm going to say this, and maybe some people aren't, more religious than others. God blessed me with MS. How can I say that? God blessed me with MS because it made me a different man, a different husband, a different father, a different son, a different uncle, and a different friend. I look at things differently because before MS came into my life, I had this body armor on me. No one could get through me.
Mm.
That's a man thing. It could be a women thing too. Well, guess what? Diagnosed with MS, that came down fully when I was in the hospital in 2019 when I was on my deathbed saying, okay, you're not inseparable. You will have this and you need to find a way to better yourself and how to use what opportunities that you have and I'm capable of doing and with limitations and be able to battle and fight the fight and use that to your advantage. So whatever those things are that I continue to do, I'm trying to pass it on to those people. I'm 64 years old. I remember my dad being, there's no way he was like the way I am right now. No way he thought that I would. And I don't use that to a disadvantage. I use it to advantage. And I love when I'm going to work out at F45 with 30 and 40-year-olds that I am just flying around inside the gym. I have one gear. That's it.
Yeah.
But I pay for it at night. And my wife
Yeah.
I'll sit on a couch. She wants me to be in bed. I can't always just disconnect and go into bed. I'm always going to do something on a TV or on a computer. Right now, I'm on a computer sending things out because I'm trying to win this contest with the Men's Health and Fitness. And it's asking people to vote and asking people for in-kindness donations that go towards the B Plus Foundation for Cancer. So not everyone's going to do that. But
No.
I'm telling you, I do win. That is putting a huge stamp and a huge pin on MS in our country that a 64-year-old man was able to do this whole time, and I'm representing everyone. It's in a positive. It's not an ego thing for me. It's not to get in that magazine. Sure, it's nice. Sure, it's nice to win $20,000. But it's to prove a point that you don't give up because you've been fucking given MS.
Exactly. I mean, I always said it's the greatest gift I've ever gotten. And, I remember I was in a meeting once and for work, a yoga teacher meeting, and we were the owner said something that really just resonated strongly with me. She said, "Okay, everyone throw all their crap into the middle.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to take back out of there? You're not going to pick someone else's shit. You're going to pick your own because you know you can handle that." And although MS sucks in so many different ways, it has been the greatest gift. It has shown me who I am. It has shed
Yep.
light on all the people that I should have never let in my life. And it has shown me who the people are that should be in my life. And I'd only give it back if I can keep the lessons. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I want to ask you a question. So, do you have people in your life that, because this kills me when this happens, not only to me, but when I'm doing these speaking events,
Mm-hmm.
do you have people in your life that before MS that are no longer in your life because of your MS?
Yes, many, many, many.
That's just crazy. That's just mind-boggling because of a disability, if you want to call it, that you are effective, that it just happened, okay, that you got this. So it's like I got to slice my face down the middle and have this big scar so people can look at me differently.
Exactly. Like
That's almost what
nobody,
I feel.
they don't understand how it, and I've kind of taken myself off the internet a little bit because of my
Yeah.
mental health, but during
Hmm.
MS Awareness Month, I'm still trying to raise my $10,000, which I raise every year. And,
That's awesome.
I my posts are not like all bright and cheery. Like they're not. It's the realities, because what I'm showing you right now is the realities. Like people and John, this is his podcast, he's trying to do a documentary about people. He wants to like go film people living with MS. And I told him, I said, I invited him to my house and I said, you come here and you see me in the morning, what I go through every day. Nobody that knows me, like even intimately, would believe what they're seeing, because it's just, it's, it's so hidden, and people just don't understand how it also affects your personality. Like I posted
Oh,
something
yes.
about how it has changed. It changes who you are. You look for, exits before you look for entrances. You look for, you never say yes, you say maybe. There's all sorts of things. Things can change last minute. Like I just, I need to lay down right now because my fatigue just hit me hard. I'm sorry, I can't meet you out. Like, and again, you can't see that, but
Yes. So, John, I'm going to set up about 4 or 5 GoPros in my bedroom so you can see what I look like when I get up in the morning and what I look like when I go to bed at night. And then I'm going to show you what I'm like on my bike and what I am when I'm working out. So that will inspire and understand what Julie and I, just 2 people, which I'm sure he's got hundreds and hundreds of people that have MS that have stories, but you're going to get a bird's eye view of what someone goes through with MS,
yeah,
because it's not just
John,
this right here.
no, and John and Cookie, this is their podcast, and they were
Yeah,
very kind to let me hijack it. Um, and you just came out of nowhere, which is kind of funny. So I
it
figured,
is.
why not talk to someone? And interestingly enough, our stories, our beginnings were very similar. I mean, even
Yes.
down to the chiropractor who didn't adjust you. I had the same situation. I went to he didn't x-ray me or anything, but same thing. I went to a chiropractor and he did not adjust me like he could have. So, you've had it twice as
Y-
long as I've had it. I was diagnosed in 16. You were 2006, but we're both doing sort of the same things in our own way. We're trying to
You know what's
inspire the community, raising money. We're trying to share our stories so people don't feel as alone. And
hmm.
I think that's just all part of MS awareness, is just
Yep.
being, we can post whatever we want, but actually having these conversations where we hope more people will listen, but to understand that, here's two very fit people talking who are, have their minds just constant, but you turn off the lights and you turn off the cameras and it doesn't look that way. So I
Yeah, behind
really,
the scenes. Yeah, you're exactly right. I want to add one thing with on the chiropractor side, how full circles. Interesting. My first person was a chiropractor that I went to right when I didn't know I had MS. 20 years later, who do you think is a chiropractor in my family? My son.
oh, wow.
So my son went to National University of Health Sciences in Chicago to become a chiropractor. Why? Because he saw how hard I fought and battled, that he wanted to do something for his
That's
father. So
wonderful.
he got into chiropractic school and worked in Chicago for 2 years, and now is back in Tampa and opened up his own. He's got a partner with Dr. Solar. It's called Limitless Life Chiropractic, and I'm going to tell you, I go there. I try to go there twice a week. Sometimes it's once, but aligning the human body, because we're all off balance. You obviously know that, and how you work out does wonders for me. He probably has 6 to 8 patients that that have MS that I turn them on to. Two of them have severe drop foot, and he is helping them. Now, is he
Wow.
going to take that away from them totally? Probably not, but they're getting stronger with going to him with that. So talk about a full circle of where, and then the Dr. Augustine that was the baseball coach, he's going to see my son Zachary
Wow.
because he
Okay.
got in a car accident and he's selling his practice and wants my son to buy his location a different place. So
Wow.
it's weird how things work, and our conversation, how it's, you know, full circle on
Yeah.
how your life started with the chiropractor, me, my son is, and how fit you continue to, and how you advocate in the most positive way and raise a ton of money for MS. And I don't think people realize that. $10 or $5,000, every dollar counts
Every dollar
for
counts. Every dollar.
towards a one day a cure for MS. And I for those that used to donate towards me for my bike MS and they don't now, I understand it. You know, things happen in people's lives. And do they still believe in me? I still think the hardest thing for me to overcome that too many people judge this instead of inside what happens with me. And when they see me when I'm down and out, I've been injured 4 times since I've been diagnosed with MS. The most tragic one that I had is getting on my bike a week and a half before my ride 2 years ago. My wife and I were going to train. I get up on my bike and my cleat kind of slips out of my cleat, my pedal, and I went to go press down, and my tricep snapped
Oh
in
God.
half. It
Your
was the
tricep
most
snap. That's
grueling.
weird.
So I had to have a 5-hour surgery with pins and a cadaver, all that stuff happening. I wasn't able to do my ride as much as I tried to do that, but I battled through adversity, being injured. Typically, when people have MS and they're injured, there's usually a relapse.
Yeah.
Which did not happen. So shredding my tricep, falling off a 20-foot ladder, shattering my ankle, ACL, MCL, meniscus, elbow surgery. Through all those things, I'm still on my feet and still walking forward and trying to support and help as much as I can. And
That
me and you are trying to bleed that orange through our communities, from all the way from Tampa all the way to where you're at out in Arizona
and LA.
and LA. And I hope that people can really understand the value that we are trying to do and what we're trying to champion.
I hope so too. And I think I want to just say thank you very much, Brad, for joining me and sharing your story and having this very open discussion about, you know, what we live with and what we've both dealt with. And just thank you. And we will
It goes both
continue
ways.
this. Yeah, we'll continue this another time. And I just also want to give a shout out to John and Cookie for allowing me to hijack their podcast.
Oh, yes.
It's funny. I've talked about doing this for a long time, and it was fun. So, Brad, I have a
was very
wonderful
much so.
evening, and
You
I'm
too.
sure we will stay in touch.
Yes.
And keep good luck on your ride, and good luck
Thank
raising
you.
money.
Yep.
And yeah, we will chat soon. Thank you so much.
Sounds good.
Okay. You too. Bye. Peace.